So Eddie Hearn, he suggests Deontay Wilder. He says that Deontay Wilder's comeback fight, he has the perfect comeback fight for Deontay Wilder. He thinks it should be Derek Chisora. So, and you know, here's the thing about that. On the surface, it seems madly disrespectful, okay? On the surface, it seems madly disrespectful. You think about Derek Chisora and you see him as a guy who can't buy a win, right? he can't win against a top fighter to save his life. I mean, and really, I mean, we just saw him lose against Joseph Parker back to back. The last outing was horrible, okay? But he hasn't won since October of 2019. So on the surface, you're like, okay, that is madly disrespectful from Eddie Hearn. But if you think about it, Deontay Wilder, he hasn't won since November 2019. So hold on. Just be patient with me for a quick second. Deontay Wilder, his last outing was Fight of the Year, okay? That's different than Derek Chisora's last outing. It was to me, I mean, it was a war, but in a sense, it was almost said embarrassing, but not really, because he showed so much grit. Like, he was what was embarrassing was the shape he was in, but his heart and will was encouraging, okay? Something like Wilder's actual performance as far as his skill level and technique and stuff that he displayed against Tyson Fury that last fight wasn't that great. And neither was Tyson Fury. But their will and determination made that fight Fight of the Year, okay? I don't know. On the surface, I'm like, this is mad disrespectful. But Derek Chisora did lose against Joseph Parker twice, and Joseph Parker is a top heavyweight, and I always argue he has one of the better resumes there is, okay? Of course, he had the Hughie Furies of the world and Derek Chisora's of the world, but he has the Andy Ruiz of the world. He fought Dillian the Body Snatcher White and Anthony A.J. Joshua. He has some, like Joseph Parker, Junior 5. He fought some guys, okay? He has a very good heavyweight resume. And before that, Derek Chisora lost against who I say is the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, and Alexander Usyk, okay? If you say Canelo Alvarez, fine. If you say Terrence Bud Crawford, fine. Or Inoue, any of those, fine, okay? I got Alexander Usyk as the best fighter in the world. So he lost against him, and before that, he won against David Price. So, but the thing about Deontay Wilder is Deontay Wilder, 10 title defenses, beating the likes of Luis Ortiz, who we're going to see this weekend, and fighting against Charles Martin, okay, which is funny because that's the fight that Deontay Wilder was negotiating, right, with Martin, just in case he didn't win the arbitration against Tyson Fury, okay, and that's just so funny. And Martin, he had some bad things to say about Deontay Wilder, criticizing Deontay Wilder, his technique, you know, saying it was poor and stuff like that. Say he does many things wrong. He should win this fight against Luis Ortiz now. And he can. Luis Ortiz, he's getting very old in the tooth. Martin got some, he's elusive. He got some skill, okay? I always thought that was a good win for Anthony Joshua when he beat him. But I digress. Derek Chisora versus Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder, the 10 title defenses, beating the likes of Luis Ortiz. Good fight, good little victories under his belt, like Burmester Byrne, like Chris Arreola. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of you guys like eye rolling. You start reaching. Okay, I understand that. But, you know, when Muhammad Ali, after he lost to Joe Frazier, he didn't stoop down all the way to, you know, someone that's like, you would feel Derek Chisora is a guy who can't win the big fights, but he puts on a very dramatic, inspiring type of fight. So on the surface, it seems disrespectful, but it's kind of not bad. I know, hold on, let me rewind. I know I mentioned Muhammad Ali when he lost to Frazier. Deontay Wilder is no Muhammad Ali. Okay, let me just, I know you guys are already in the comments going crazy. He's no Muhammad Ali. But what I was trying to say was, he's in the history books for 10 title defenses, and he is a top heavyweight. I think he's still ranked #1 in the WBC, something like that. And I know that there's an avenue here, like if Tyson Fury were to vacate the WBC title, Deontay Wilder can challenge Dillian White for it, and then if he beats Dillian White, he'll be back at the WBC champion. I know there's like a road to Deontay Wilder being champion again, so should he go the Derek Chisora route? According to Mauricio Suleiman and the WBC, Tyson Fury he's not going to vacate. He doesn't have to vacate. He's still going to be WBC champion. Even if he doesn't fight Dillian White next and he takes on an Andy Ruiz or a Robert Helenius or anything like that, it just won't be for the title, since there's a lawsuit against the WBC from Dillian White. You can't really speak too much on it because we really don't know too much about it. We know there's an arbitration there. I'm going to conclude with this. On the surface, that feels disrespectful. When you think of, is Derek Chisora a top 10 heavyweight, right? No, I wouldn't say he is. And Deontay Wilder always been in the top 3 for years, okay? But at the same time, it's not bad. It's not bad. I think if I was Deontay Wilder, after the history with Eddie Hearn and AJ, it doesn't look like they have really good blood. Okay, they don't have good grounds between the two, so that's why I feel like it's a poke. Eddie Hearn never really seemed to be in the corner for Deontay Wilder. It seemed like there's a rivalry. Actually, there's a rivalry. Okay, if Eddie Hearn admits it or not, it feels like a poke. It's not that bad of a fight. I'll tell you this: if I was Deontay Wilder, I'll wait around. I'm still interested in what Deontay Wilder can do against the likes of Andy Ruiz. I'm still interested in something like that. Okay, and I'm not sure if Deontay Wilder is talking about coming back anytime soon, so you can kind of wait around. Look. If Tyson Fury going to take Andy Ruiz, I'll look at Robert Helenius. I know they sparred or whatever in preparation for Tyson Fury. You usually don't want to fight your sparring partners, but I'll do something like that. I would. And if Tyson Fury is taking on Robert Helenius in Manchester, I'll look at Andy Ruiz. Let me know how you all feel in the comments below. It just seemed on the surface a bit disrespectful, and it may be by design. Showbiz, well, don't. I'm out.